All right, guys, let's get into it. I feel like I say the same spiel every week, but I'll say it again. It's time to get back on track, boys. It's time to figure this shit out. We need a 4-0 week. Not only do we need one, we probably need 5 in a row. But let's start with one. Because Eric, myself, and Suuma all lost last week, we'll go back to the fresh blood.
Oh, man.
And Hitman is somehow leading it off for this week. Hitman, the floor is yours. Your best bet and why.
All right, I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns plus 3.5. Rob mentioned Matthew Stafford's splits against man. I mentioned earlier that the Rams offense against above average or elite pass rushes has really struggled, and there's been a pretty decent sample size against San Fran, Philly, Dallas, Green Bay, Cincinnati when their offensive line was banged up. Cleveland, obviously, their pass rush metrics are elite. The defense overall is first in EPA per play. Stafford on the year facing just anybody, 22nd in EPA per play. Cooper Kupp is one weapon right now. Puka Nacua, not 100%, has 12 catches for 127 yards over his past 5 games. So I really don't see a big path for success for the Rams to get margin in this game. Obviously, Amari Cooper and Myles Garrett, it's an issue with their injuries, but it does sound like it's a pain tolerance issue. So for me, I make the game 3. So give me the Browns plus 3.5.
All right. Hitman going with the Browns. Laying it on the line. Eager.
You know what to do, everybody. You know what to do.
I didn't want to say it. But he said it himself. All right, Eager. You're going with a total this week. What's it going to be and why?
Last time I went with a total, Sam Howell absolutely blew it up. But I'm going back. There's a total in New England here. I know one of our friends in the chat said this is also getting money on the Patriots side here. But I like under 40.5 was the number before the show. I know it's actually a little bit higher in some spots. When I look at this game, the Patriots have gotten back to running the ball with Ramondre Stevenson, which is kind of tilting for me because I have season-long unders on him. 20 carries against the Colts, 21 carries last week against the Giants. That, I think when you look at this offense and, yards created, for example, Ramondre Stevenson, one of the worst in the NFL, basically half a yard worse than you'd expect from the average ball carrier per carry. I think that the Patriots look at that, success of the last few weeks and play into it. I think that the Chargers are just enough of a sieve against the run to slow this entire game down and to play the game, as I said, between the 40s. And then you look at the other side of the aisle with the Los Angeles Chargers. They have a really wicked combination of a play caller who's underperforming, wide receivers who can't get open, offensive line who can't block, and a quarterback that processes the game way too quickly and checks the ball down when it's not warranted. Other than that, the offense is tremendous. So I like a look at the under in this game. Chargers, Patriots, under 40.5.
Okay. Sounds like 2-0 so far. Suuma, it's on you now to keep the run of games that hasn't happened yet that I'm crowning winners. I'm the green check mark brigade today. But Suuma, it's for you, and you're going to Monday Night Football, Bengals and Jags. What's it going to be and why?
Yes, I like the Jaguars to win comfortably here. I think that this Bengals team is very, very bad. I think when you think about a graph like Ben Baldwin posts his team tiers every week, when you think of a graph with team tiers where you have defensive strength on the y-axis and offensive strength on the x-axis, and you look at how bad the Bengals defense is and how bad potentially going forward their offense is with Jake Browning, I think they really belong far to the left side, and they are clearly a bottom 8 team to me right now. They have a bad defense. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. They have a questionable O-line. Jake Browning is a terrible downgrade from Joe Burrow, and I just don't see them getting anything done against this very decent Jaguars defense. last week against Pittsburgh, their only offense was basically a tipped pass towards Jamar Chase, which set up their lone touchdown. And I think in the second half, they had another bigger play that should have been an interception where the ball slipped through the hands of Pittsburgh's receivers. I think Jake Browning is one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the game. And then overall, I really think that this Bengals team is a bottom 8, maybe scratching bottom 6 team at some point. And Jaguars offense are really improving. Calvin Ridley is being used all over the field all of a sudden. Their run game has been bad for most of the season, but against a bad Bengals run defense, that might not be an issue. So I think Jaguars score enough points on offense, and I just don't see the Bengals offense competing.
All right. Suuma with the Jags. A lot of people in the chat are happy with that. Also pointing to Jags teaser season, which I would have to... I wholeheartedly have to. Hopefully that doesn't end up in Lions teaser season like it was last week with our pal Joey Knish live from the bedroom on Thursday morning.
To be fair, the Lions were good to any number.
First quarter, first half, team total over. However you wanted to play the Lions from Lions fan Joey Knish, who couldn't be bothered to even get out of bed for that one. I'll end it off here. I'm going to go to a total. I alluded to this game earlier and didn't give my thoughts when we covered it. I like the San Francisco Philadelphia over 46.5. I would play it up to minus 118 at 46.5. Now, of course, I have to mention there's possible rain concerns here. It could happen. Doesn't look like torrential downpour. It's still a little bit too early to figure it out, but there's probably going to be some rain over the course of this game. I really don't care. Simply put, I think Philadelphia's stop unit is one of the most overrated in the entire league. The total in the playoff game between these two teams last year was 45, but Philly's D has been downgraded significantly since then. San Fran has an extremely efficient offense. They're loaded with explosive play candidates. As the guys mentioned, Philly's very susceptible over the middle of the field. Their linebacking core is horrible. They're going to get shredded there. They also play a lot of cover one. That's a defense that Brock Purdy has cooked this year to the tune of 0.55 EPA per play, which is absurd. This Eagles D was on the field for 40 minutes against the Bills this past Sunday. I think San Fran's going to score a lot of points in this game. And when they do, in games where Philly has to match points, I think this makes for a solid over bet. They're smart. Nick Sirianni's very well, coaches this team really well. They will play fast. They will throw down the field. They will get aggressive. The last time that we saw the 49ers defense play a really strong passing attack, they got shredded by Joe Burrow. I don't think it's going to be the exact same type of game, but ultimately, I'm going to go back to a Philadelphia over for the second straight week here. I'm going to play over 46.5. Eagles and 49ers.